So tonight is a very special night. I have got something very exciting planned. So, of course, we need to get ready. So come with me as we get ready for my very first stand-up comedy gig. Hello everybody and welcome back to Matt H Does Makeup, a place where we play, experiment and make mistakes because mistakes are how we learn. And tonight, playing and making mistakes is the absolute name of the game. So with stand-up comedy, you have to be on the spot, you have to be in the moment, you have to be in the middle of a very small, sweaty pub. But because it's me, we are not going to be doing it looking like this. I've got my hair cut, it's time to put a face on. First things first, this new hair needs to be in control. So I've got some little hair grips, we're going to pop those in. So tonight we are going to be under the stage lights. So I want to be making sure that my face is primed enough to make sure that my makeup isn't going anywhere. So we're going to be using two different primers today. First of all, the e.l.f. Luminous Putty Primer. There it is. And of course, my go-to, the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. Both very reasonably priced. In fact, they've got so many different versions of their primers now. You may as well buy one and have a go. So now with primers, people have this misconception that you have to use a single primer all over your face. Not the case, not in any way, shape or form, mainly because our skin is different everywhere. So to start off, we are going to be going in with the poreless primer. Now, I am quite pory in my cheek areas, so let's whack a little bit of this on, and then we'll move on to the luminosity. The poreless primer is on, and I've just discovered this little tiny secret hack. Now, this might not be a hack, but it might help those of us with slightly longer nails. I know that when I've been going into pots like this, when you put your finger in, it all gets stuck underneath your nail. I don't know if this is something that everybody is aware of, but for me, as a man who wears makeup and gets his nails done, this is invaluable. I'll show you as I add on the Luminous Putty Primer. You get the back of your nail, scoop out just a little bit like this. I had to be very careful what finger I used, let's be honest. Now, because this is the Luminous Primer, I need to be quite careful where I'm applying this because I don't want to come across as sweaty. So we're going to add the Luminous Primer to those high points where the light naturally catches your bone structure. To help with that, what I tend to do is look down. If you look down into a mirror, you will see where the light naturally catches your face. And for me, we're here and we are here. So I'm going to take that little bit that we've got there, and we're just going to apply just a touch here, a touch there, and just a little bit on the end of the nose there. Just rub that in. So we are primed and ready to go. The secret here is to let that primer sit just for a few minutes, just to make sure that it has settled into your skin. And if you find that there are places that are not as primed as you want them to be, or maybe are a little bit too primed, this is the point in the journey where you get to sort that sort of stuff out. Okay, so for tonight, I want to have quite a bold looking eye. For that, I need to make sure that I primed my eyelids. And for those of you who've been seeing these videos for a while, you know exactly what I'm going to be doing. We are looking at the Sigma eyeshadow primer in the shade Ignite. So I'm going to go and prime my eyelids and we'll be right back. Okay, so eyelids are primed. All of my face primer has settled in quite well. I haven't had to adjust anything too much. And we are going in tonight with the Circus Tent palette from Roc Pro. Now, as you can see from this palette, we are spoilt for choice when it comes to colour. Now, the outfit I'm going to be wearing this evening has a, well, as you can see, a little bit of a black and white hue. So we have got quite a lot of freedom. First things first, we need to be having a look at what kind of shape we're doing. Now, I want to do something I want to do a little flick. I want to have a little bit of depth going on here, but I want to have a little touch of smokiness going up towards the brow. So we're going to need to use a few different shades. Let's start off with that transition shade, and we'll go in with this shade just here. This is Monkey. It will give us just enough colour, hopefully, that we can sketch out that shape, smoke it out if we need to, and then go in a little bit darker with this Bloody Mary shade just here. And if it's not dark enough, we'll just put a bit of black in. Why not? Treat yourself. So we're going in. We've got the shade Monkey. I'm just going to pop that along that crease there and blend that through. Now you will have noticed, because I'm trying to do a slightly smokier look, I've applied the product where I want the colour to stay. That means I've pushed it in, I've pressed it on. This is where I want the colour to stay, as opposed to where I want the colour to go. When you've got hooded eyes and a heavy brow like I do, trying to do something smoky can get quite complicated. But we will make it work. Yes. So that Monkey shade is in, and now I can start buffing that out just to try and get that shape that I am looking for. It's also very important when you have a heavy set brow like I do, stop trying to do your makeup like this. Relax your eyes every now and then you can see what's actually going to be visible when people are looking at you. Okay, so that is Monkey done. I think we need to address these lids, and I want to do something quite shiny, so let's see what we have. Because it's me, I do like to have a slight juxtaposition with what I'm doing with my eyes, otherwise it kind of looks a little bit flat. So what we're going to do is going with the shimmer shade here, Insane. Now with Insane, I'm not going to use a brush to start out with. I'm going to use my little finger, and we're going to smush that on the lids. Look at that. I tell you, I am so impressed with this palette. Now, I have just used my fingers for this, so I do need to go in and just refine those edges a little bit with a brush. Let's see what we can do. So when it comes to blending out glitters like this, especially more of those foily ones, where you want to try and keep it quite controlled, I found a brush like this is actually super useful, because you can go in at that front angle and just make sure that everything is blended so it doesn't look like you've just gone in with your finger and hoped for the best. And what does happen sometimes is that you want to have a little bit more of a gradient, a little bit more of a transition between the glittery and the more matte colour. All you do is take the brush that you used to put that, in this case, the Monkey shade on, no extra product, and just tap that along that edge, and you'll see you just get a slightly softer transition. And if you don't, that's okay. You can go in with a little bit more product, but in all honesty, it's better to try it with just the brush that you've used before you start smacking more stuff on your eyelids. So that is the eye look almost done. We need to add a little bit more highlight and a little bit more depth, but before we do, let's get some concealer on, let's get some foundation on, and then we will go from there. So this is a perfect example of why I do my eyes first. I just had a look at myself and I realised that I had loads of glitter underneath my eyes, which is really irritating because I'd already used that sort of eye primer just to take out some of that darkness underneath. So I need to get rid of that glitter, and I used a reusable cotton pad with just a little bit of micellar on. But now we've got that glitter removed, let your face dry down, and then we'll go in with a concealer. So I know that I'm going to be performing on multiple stages tonight, so I need to make sure that no matter what the lighting conditions, I'm going to look at least a little bit presentable. So I'm going to highlight the middle of my face with the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer in the shade Light Ivory. I may use a slightly darker concealer elsewhere, but we'll see what foundation we use. Okay, so that's the majority of that concealer on. Even though it's got some really great coverage, I've only used a very small amount. I haven't gone in and just swiped it all over my face. You might be able to tell from the colour of my fingers, just a couple of dots on that inside corner, and I've done a little bit down the middle of my nose as well because it is quite red, and I've just tapped that into place. Now let's sort out these edges here. So we are all nice and blended in. It's time to go in with some foundation. Now some of you may be familiar with this, especially if you've watched, well, anybody on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. The foundations that people use on camera aren't necessarily the ones that they would use in day-to-day life, because all of the lighting that we have here makes things look different to when you're out and about, popping down Tesco, grabbing your apples. So I need to be wearing a shade that actually matches me in this setup, so that when I am out underneath those stage lights, I know that it will work. Now, I don't have a huge collection of foundations to my name, so I'm going back to the very beginning of my journey. I haven't used this for a while. Hopefully, it will work. This is the Rimmel Match Perfection with built-in SPF. It is only 20. Please put SPF on underneath your foundation if you are anywhere sunnier than here. And this is in the shade True Beige. Now I know that it's going to be quite hot underneath those lights, so I don't need to be using a huge amount of makeup because I'm not going to be powdering this like I'm doing a 4-night run in the West End. So one pump should be more than enough. So for this sort of foundation, I like to go in with a flat but quite dense brush like this, and we'll start in the middle of our faces and work out. So I'm just on the point where I'm applying foundation to my forehead, and I thought I'd share this handy little tip. Now I am crinkly. We're going full Klingon up here. I'm 36 now. I've got some miles on the clock. But I found that when you're applying foundation, if you try and relax your forehead, almost going to your natural resting bitch face, then if you're applying the foundation, it's hopefully going to settle in to all of those nooks and crannies that life has provided you. So that is a full face of foundation in one pump. And you might even be able to see I've still got a little bit left there, so I can always go in for a little touch-up should we need it, which is always quite beneficial when you've gone, oh no, my ears are red, or oh no, I've missed this bit of my neck. Okay, so I've just gone in and finished the under eye area, a little bit of that darker pinky monkey purple, whatever it was called, a little bit of blue just underneath there because it sort of blended together to make this little nice purple transition, and of course a little bit of sparkle on that inside corner. As we're on stage this evening, I'm going to use a product I haven't used before. This e.l.f. product here, it's a double-ended. You've got a lip primer and a lip plumper. Now I don't think I want to do any plumping this evening, so let's go in with the lip primer and see if that works as a base for lipstick. It's quite nice actually. It just feels like a lip balm, just a normal lip balm, but does have a slightly light cast to it. So I'll let that settle. We'll sort everything else out and then we'll come back to the lips. So we have got a little bit of bronze on, a little bit of blush. Now we're going to go back to the Circus Tent palette here, and I want to do a little bit of highlighter because they have two highlighters here, and we're going to go in with Wonderland. We'll start with a brush And if it's nowhere near sparkly enough, we're going in with fingers. So as you know, we are all in the spirit of making mistakes. You may see there are differences in the two sides of my face. Here, I've gone in too low. What I've done is I've accentuated this bag underneath my eyeball. But over here, I've gone higher underneath the eye and up. There is a difference as to where the light catches it. But that's okay, we can fix this. And the answer's dead easy. Go back in with your foundation brush and just stipple over that area. Get that blend back in. And don't worry if it takes off some of your blush, because you can always put that back on as well. There are mistakes in makeup, but there is always a remedy. I think we are at a point where we need to sort these lips out. So we are going to go in with the Power Pout Precision Liner from Studio London in the shade Plum. So that's the liner, and I must say this lip primer from e.l.f., it's doing great stuff so far. Let's whack on a little bit of lippy and we'll see how it holds up. So because tonight is a special night for me, I thought I'd go in with the lipstick that I won in a raffle. It's the Fenty Beauty in the shade Uncuffed. Now I know that this one does go all over my teeth, so I will apply it with strict precision and hopefully this should be okay. I'm not gonna lie, I really like that lighter shade from the Fenty Beauty with that darker, plummier shade of the lip liner. I think on stage, that's going to work out really nicely. I'm going to keep my lips apart for a few minutes and just make sure that everything is dry. And we'll be back with our final verdict. So the hair is down, we have released the beast. I have also made sure that I have set the makeup with my favourite setting spray, or at least one of the two that I've used, but this is really good. It's the e.l.f. Stay All Night Microfine Setting Mist. Brilliant stuff. I will take a powder with me just in case I get a little bit sweaty in between sets. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am ready to go to the stand-up club. Let's make some of these people laugh. If you've enjoyed this video today, please consider liking the video and of course subscribe to the channel so that way you'll know exactly what I'm up to at all times. Make sure your notifications are on, please. Thank you and kind regards. We'll see you soon. Bye.